In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you're going to be able to get a product manager job in the next 30 days. And more importantly, I'm going to be showing you that we are running a challenge for the entire month of October, which is getting as many people a product manager job as possible by Halloween, which is October 31st. So imagine this: you're going into Halloween knowing that you have a product manager job and that you don't have to stress out about this anymore over the holidays. So for those of you who are married with the kids, imagine going out trick-or-treating stress-free. Those of you who are a little bit less wholesome, imagine partying, popping bottles, doing whatever kind of unencouraged activities that you are going to be partaking, guilt-free, knowing that you have a product manager job for the holidays. So as you can see, if you're following me on LinkedIn and you're following me on YouTube, you can go ahead and see our program is getting people jobs. They're getting people jobs. They're getting people tons and tons and tons and tons of jobs. I'm giving you guys a lot of good insight that a lot of people are not taking action on. And in the beginning of the year, I would say a lot of people would be telling me, the market's bad, the market's bad, the market's bad. I'm posting up enough product manager jobs to let you guys know right now, the market's not fucking bad. The market has changed their hiring practices, and unfortunately, nobody gave a shit or nobody had the time to send you guys the memo of how hiring processes have changed. So you are applying a game plan that was somewhat workable or effective prior to the tech layoffs in April 2022. So a lot of people are job hunting pre-recession style. And that game plan is what they would call in the military combat ineffective. And you are seeing very little positive affirmation that your game plan is working because your game plan is archaic. Now, there are people that have the winning game plan. So let's just assume that you do. Let's just assume that you have the right resume, you have the right LinkedIn, you have the right cover letter, you are applying, doing all those different things. What's wrong? Well, either your resume is bad. That's the number one misconception, is that my resume is bad. Well, beyond your resume being bad, and it could be if you're not in my program, you're also, it also could be the fact that nobody's looking at your resume. Your resume is not getting reviewed enough. So you're not following. So here's what we're going to go ahead and do. I'm not here to go ahead and guilt you. You don't need that as your motivation. I'm here to go ahead and offer you a way out. So how am I going to do that? First things first is, let's go ahead and apply to jobs together. I'm going to be hosting with Product Gym apply times 3 times a day. 10 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I might even open up one more time that's even later than that. And I'm going to get people to go ahead and apply together. Am I going to show up to all 3 sessions every single day? Hell no. That's your responsibility, not mine. Will I be providing you insight in how it is that you can attack each and every single day? Yes, I will. But here's what I've noticed. Even with the most insight, people are going to go ahead and procrastinate on it. And procrastination is something that nobody talks about when we're talking about job hunting. When you're talking about, most people are operating under this assumption that, like, I'm not getting enough results because I'm doing something wrong. A lot of people just aren't doing anything at all. When you were in school, you didn't not know how to write an essay. You didn't not know how to study for the final, but you still procrastinated until the very end. You want to know why? It's in our nature to go ahead and do so. So I'm going to provide you with as much insight as possible, but it's your responsibility to go ahead and take that action. And the only way for you to take that action and constantly be accountable is if you're doing it with other people. That's one very effective strategy. I'm not saying it's the only one, but that's one effective strategy, because if you're going to be successful in anything, you have to be consistent. I've seen people that said, I got a job, not just a product manager job, but just like any random job in tech. And I decided, like, I'm not going to apply anymore because people aren't looking at resumes, and there's so many, the competition out there is so fierce. So I'm just going to go ahead and start networking. Or I'm just going to get very targeted. I stopped applying on Indeed and LinkedIn. I stopped hitting the easy apply, and I just started sending out direct messages. It's like I gave up on just being targeted. I gave up on being networking, and I'm just like, I'm going to apply to 1,000 jobs a day. I'm going to apply to like 1,000 jobs a week. Whatever your process is, you still need to be consistent. Either of those processes can work, and they have, because people have said that it's worked for them, and it clearly has worked for them. But the one thing is, it has to be consistent. And the only thing that's stopping you from getting really your next job is being consistent. So if I can get you past the first 15 minutes, I told my group this. It's like when you're writing standards, you know, it gets to a point where you hit something called a flow state, or you get in the zone, or you completely zone out, and you're so wired into what it is that you're doing. Kind of like you see some of these coders, they're just like, oh, like they're just completely zoned in, focused, and they cannot stop. That's what I aim to go ahead and do, is get you to the point where you just keep going, to the point where you cannot stop. You don't want to stop. It feels good. In order for us to get there, we need a few more things too. Number one, bring some music. I can't believe most people are applying without music. I can't imagine going to the freaking gym right now without my freaking AirPods. Like, I freak out about that. If I don't have my AirPods on, I might as well just go home. Because I'm not going to make it through like the next, well, that's my cue that my next call is about to start in 10 minutes, but I'm not going to go ahead and make it through the session. Secondly, you have to have a goal. This is Jocko Willing, for those of you who don't know him, former Navy SEAL, I think, like, turned motivational speaker and business consultant. But you have to have a goal that's much bigger than getting this job. Most of you know what you need to do, but you're still not doing it because the goal just isn't attractive enough for you. It's like, I'm going to get up. I'm doing all this bullshit. Like, Rich, you're actually telling me I got to, like, message these people individually, which I've already put together on the list. And then I got to follow up with them, like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get a fucking job? Are you serious? To get a fucking job? Hell no, man. That's way too much like hard work. It is. It's very hard work. And I understand what it's like because I'm one of the laziest people you'll ever meet. And you're probably thinking to yourself, like, Rich, you're not lazy, man. I'm one of the laziest pieces of shit you'll ever meet. But, you know, you got to trick your mind. Listen, athletes like a Tom Brady or even a Cristiano or a Messi, you think they feel like going to the gym every single time? Your bullshit's temporary right now. Like, you will eventually get this job. You put your head down, you go to work, like 3 months into it, like, you'll get a job. You will get a job. If you're talking about somebody like in my position, I've been talking about how to get a product manager job for the last 7.5 years. If you want to add in the 3 years that I spent in recruiting, this is 10.5 years, a decade of my life, constantly telling people the same shit over and over again. So if you're talking about if anybody's over it, I'm effing over it. But I got to trick my mind every single day in doing it. So I want to go out there and help you accomplish that, because pre-recession, a lot of people didn't have to get a brand new job. So even if they didn't really like their job, it's like, oh, yeah, I mean, like, I don't hate my job. You know, maybe I'll do it later. But now a lot of you are not working, or a lot of you are in a situation where you want to get this thing done. So let's just bite the bullet. Let's just get it done in the next 30 days. It's very, very much possible. When I got my wisdom teeth pulled, they're like, you want to do 2 now and come back and do 2 later? I was like, no, let's get this shit over with right now. If I'm going to spend 3 days out of work, out of commission, doing nothing, I might as well just go ahead and, like, let's just take all 4 out. So let's go all in. There's going to be 3 sessions, and I'm going to go ahead now and talk about logistics. Like, the first session is going to be 10 a.m. in the morning. What should you be doing at 10 a.m. in the morning? At 10 a.m. in the morning, you should really be working on racking up your list. So going on Indeed, going on LinkedIn, and just racking up as many product manager jobs as possible and getting ready to apply massively. Because in the morning, it's highly unlikely that you're going to send out a message in the morning and anybody's going to go ahead and respond, especially if you're on the East Coast. Like, if they're on the West Coast, they're still sleeping. If they're on the West Coast, they're probably still sleeping, like at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's my little jab at the West Coasters. I can say that I'm from LA. But, like, that's just a fact, right? So you want to mass apply. On the afternoon, which is like around 1 p.m., you want to go ahead and start taking some time and start being strategic. Start thinking about which companies you're going to target. If you have a certain type of background, you need to know how to craft certain types of LinkedIn messages to go out there and get their attention. At night, you want to go out there and actually be messaging these hiring managers hard, because 8 p.m. at night, that's 5 p.m. in the afternoon, the West Coast time. A lot of these jobs, if you're tracking my timestamps, they're being posted at 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. at night. And you're wondering, like, well, why are they doing that? Because they're procrastinators just like you and me. Ain't nobody trying to really work hard. That's like the worst way to go ahead and make money. Trading my time, energy, and effort for money. Are you kidding me? Why would I go ahead and do that? You don't want to go ahead and do that. You want to go ahead, get in contact with my group, and most importantly, schedule a call to see if you can go out there and be a part of this. Because we're going to be learning a lot, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of information. I currently have one secret weapon right now that I have not shared with anybody, and no, it's not the LinkedIn messages. It's sending something beyond the LinkedIn messages, but I can't share it just yet because I'm in the final stages of perfecting this little recipe with a few other people that's test driving this thing out. But like, we're here to go ahead and grab people's attention, so they're gonna go ahead and give you a shot. The bigger challenge that people have right now is getting the interviews, but on the side of actually doing the interviews better, that game has been elevated too. So we're also going to be working. We'll be working on it every Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get this job before Halloween. You're only one application and one interview away from getting your next product manager job. And one offer equals multiple offers equals big offers. So get in contact with my team if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and get this job. I'm going to be documenting the journey every single step of the way. From now all the way until Halloween, let's go ahead and make a big push and get this thing over with. Let's do it.